realise that by documenting my thoughts and subsequently publishing them, I could potentially help others feel supported and connected to another person who in some way does not simply sympathise with their experience, but empathises and truly understands it, having lived it myself. I would be honoured to be that person for you. If reading this makes you feel less alone, or just that someone gets it. 1 in 2 of us will have cancer at some point in our lives, perhaps the most feared diagnosis of all. In the public consciousness, a cancer diagnosis means a death sentence. It means the end, or at least the beginning of the end. But that could not be further from the truth. For many of us, for most of us, cancer is something we are cured of, or which we recover from. Even if your cancer cannot be cured, more and more of us are living with cancer for longer than ever, with new treatments and therapies being found. Many of the cancer diaries out there, wonderful as they are published after death. Even as you read them, you know what the outcome will be, rather like in Romeo and Juliet. They have huge value, however heartbreaking they and the afterwards written by a loved one may be. But this book is not a cancer diary about death, or preparing for death. This is a cancer diary about living, about survival, because that is what most of us who are diagnosed with cancer will do. We survive. Medicine can do wonderful things, but perhaps what cannot be provided by medicine, be it support or understanding, whether you have cancer or not, or are helping someone with cancer, we can give to each other. I hope that this helps you along the way. Wednesday, the 8th of May, 2019. Yesterday, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. It is shit. Literally, I have the shit cancer, and I saw it myself on the screen. There are times when being a doctor and a patient is pretty great. When you see your baby's heartbeat on the pregnancy scan, and when you know what you need, what to ask for, and who to see. Then there are times when it is pretty crap, when your kids are seriously ill and all you think of are the worst-case scenarios you have witnessed. And times like yesterday, when you look at a screen showing your insides and see something so clearly abnormal that you say, "What is that?" I should probably backtrack a bit. No one just ends up on a couch hugging their knees with a tube up their bum without a bit of backstory, though some people may well enjoy that sort of thing. Since the birth of my youngest, my daughter, 4 years ago, I've been having some intermittent pain in my pelvis. I've had multiple pelvic surgeries, including 3 caesarean sections and the removal of my appendix and an ectopic pregnancy. I presumed that the pain was linked to some scar tissue and didn't think much of that. I'm like that, and I think many of us are. If we can explain something, or if it isn't bothering us, we put it out of our minds and keep going. But in the past 3 or 4 months, the pain has got worse, so eventually I saw a doctor who I used to work with when I was a junior doctor. He also delivered my first baby. Although you would have thought that having him examine me would be weird, it really isn't. Doctors don't think about that sort of thing. They just get on with the examination. The ultrasound seemed normal, but I was referred to a colorectal surgeon, one who I refer patients to regularly, to check out my bowel, just to be sure there was nothing there before considering surgery. The surgeon thought everything was fine, but advised me to have an MRI, magnetic resonance imaging scan, as it was better for seeing scar tissue or other problems. The MRI showed up a very slight abnormality, a small bit of spasm in the lower colon. This could have been anything and nothing, and while most radiologists wouldn't have commented on it, this one advised the surgeon to perform a colonoscopy, even though the surgeon was confident the results would come back normal. A word of caution to anyone who may have to have a colonoscopy: bowel prep is revolting. Before the procedure, the patient must drink a laxative to help completely clear the bowel of waste. My drink was like peach-flavoured seawater and made me feel unbearably sick all day. Not much happened for 5 hours, which was somewhat surprising, and even after the second dose, when I did start hosing Armageddon from my behind, I was still surprised, as I thought there would be much more. There I was, waiting for the colonoscopy. I became irritated because bowel prep isn't the most fun, and I knew the results were going to be normal, and therefore a waste of time, and I would have to have exploratory surgery to remove scar tissue anyway.